Welcome back, SoulPlay fam. Eliza Maroney here, and today I'm joined by Mareesa Stertz, who is an epic storyteller and guide, as well as visionary of many talents. And so, Mareesa, welcome. So happy to have you here today.
So glad to be here, Eliza. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Mareesa, you're new to the SoulPlay fam, and so would you mind just kind of talk yourself up for a moment and tell us about all the amazing things that you're doing? And I see the Sphinx Gate behind you, and some people may actually already recognize this. But would you mind sharing about your work in the world and what you're up to? Welcome.
I'm a filmmaker, a storyteller. I have recently stepped into creating big immersive art. I brought two large sphinxes, 34 feet tall, to Burning Man this year, inspired by the never-ending story, but also just inspired by the mythology of the Sphinx and the role they hold as keepers of thresholds, guardians of riddles, and this idea that there is no riddle greater than our own unconscious, and that knowing ourselves is a really powerful thread, a really valiant quest to be on in this day and age. I also do a lot of work in the psychedelic space. I'm a co-founder of the Global Psychedelic Society, which is a grassroots community-led organization where we're supporting other grassroots community-led organizations that are providing education, harm reduction, integration to people around psychedelics, ensuring that they are well informed as they embark on their psychedelic journey and surrounded by community, right? Community is the medicine. So a lot of these threads here, storytelling, psychedelics, and big sphinxes that make it fun to know ourselves, that gamify that journey, are all these tools of inner hygiene. So I'm sort of on a mission to bring tools of inner hygiene to the world.
Can you explain to us what that looks like? What is kind of the arc of the session? What can people expect from it?
So story, I believe, is the stuff that makes the fabric of reality. That the story is everything around us. Everything you look at was once a story in someone's head, with the exception of nature. And when we start to bring more attention to the role it plays, and that we ourselves are a cumulative effect of the stories we've inherited, the conditioning, the belief systems, and the values of our caregivers' environment, when we start taking stock of that, and begin to ask what stories are we inheriting and that we want to live according to, and which ones do we want to unsubscribe to, and which ones do we want to replace that with, that you become an agent of change and a lot more sovereign, a lot more in charge of your own life in a meaningful way. And, when it comes to the world, we're kind of in a hard place. I think a lot of that is because many of us haven't been given the support to step into our own story authorship. So story catharsis is a framework that supports people in identifying their own stories, what they inherited, what they've learned through those inherited stories, what they want to replace them with, and then starting to and just creating more connection between each other and learning each other's stories, hearing each other unpack what have their challenges taught them, and getting the practice to unpack your own and tell it and become more just gain a deeper understanding of the power your own story wields. And with that practice, also just feel more comfortable with telling your story to further whatever your mission in life is.
Mm. Yeah, earlier you had mentioned that community is the medicine here, right? And so I'm curious, this is like a process that someone could hypothetically do on their own, but I imagine that it's really amplified when we do it in a group container. Is that correct?
Ooh, yes. I can't speak of that enough, right? There's this magic that comes when we hold each other. That like there's a co-regulation that happens. There's a permission slip with our stories. When I tell you my story of how I messed up, I don't believe we actually mess up, but when I tell you that story and you hear me speak compassionately about it, then you go, oh, it's okay to mess up in that way. You obviously know already, but if you were earlier on your path. And so this idea of, well, in that way that we're one blueprinting the possibilities and different possibilities of how to hold our stories in our own head is a huge piece of this. And it starts fostering, when you're in the right container, a lot more compassion and a lot more love for the heavy pieces that we all carry, because we all carry them. You are not alone, dear listener, in your story of I'm not enough or I don't belong. I believe that that's really the human condition, and we just don't like to talk about it because it's so uncomfortable. But that normalization is a big piece that comes up, as well as I also think that like some of us carry really heavy stories, and that when you share a heavy story with others, you're the weight is no longer just on your shoulders, and that others can actually help hold that with you. And in a way that allows there's a cathartic process that happens, and you are a little bit lighter. Others are more informed, and sort of this emergent collective intelligence begins to come from that, that I think is really helping us all grow.
Yes. I'm just feeling this and I'm reimagining what it was like working with you and hearing other people's stories and holding that, but also to claim a new reality. And in so many ways, I mean, our words do have so much power. It literally moves through our beings and out of us and can change us on a molecular level, you know? And so to be able to tell the same story from a more empowered standpoint, et cetera, it's just it's good. This is real medicine, good medicine.
Yeah.
So Mareesa, this is your first soul play this year, so which is so exciting. And we kind of chatted a little at the beginning of this, but I would love to like hear from you. What are you most excited about? What have you heard about soul play from your friends? Because I know you're surrounded by soul players, if you will.
I've been hearing about SoulPlay for years. It has been on my like, ooh, I really want to go. And there's another festival that was always conflicting, or I was not in the country. And so it I'm extraordinarily excited for it. I've been to what I believe I've heard was some of the origins of it, Human Awareness Institute and other things. And my heart and soul have been craving for places that are just really holding space for more deep connection. I find like I can also get a little bit shy sometimes. I'm an introverted extrovert or extroverted introvert, and I will flip flop between the two. But if I don't know enough people, I'm really grateful for exercises and frameworks that support me in like, hey, I'm going to put you in front of somebody. I'm going to give you a deep question or a connection exercise or movement or something, and you're going to get to know them, even if it is a little uncomfortable. And it's like just a real happy place for me to go to. And my understanding is there's just a lot of juiciness like that in Soul Play. So amped to go.
Perfect. You heard correctly. You definitely heard right. And finally, for someone who maybe is watching this and it's their first soul play, or maybe they've come many times before, but they're curious about your workshop, what is your desire and your hope that they would get out of your workshop?
Mm. I'll just say, I mentioned this earlier that this is a tool of inner hygiene, and that in this day and age right now we are being exposed with our phones to just so much programming, so many other people's stories and systems, and we're also with AI outsourcing a lot of ourselves. Like more than 50% of people, and I think Americans are using AI as therapy, and I think it's a slippery slope from like, hey, how do I navigate this to just tell me what to do? And so I believe that when we are creating more spaces for meaning making and integration and just asking, okay, what are the stories that I'm subscribing to? I believe that, I have to play small to fit in. I believe that I should do what everyone else is doing because I don't want to ruffle any feathers. When we start just creating a little awareness of that, then we can give ourselves the freedom to either say, yes, I want to continue to subscribe to that, or maybe it's time to change that and move through it. And so it's in a way like kind of clearing the pipes of the old stories we don't want that are running our programming just by bringing awareness. You're not gonna master it all in one session, but it is this idea of doing some inner program or inner hygiene, cleaning the pipes, and also that now that opened up space is available to create some new stories and let yourself dream into what is possible and what would be your highest joy. So my hope is that people who go through this workshop really leave with more clarity, a little more inner hygiene, and a little more clarity on where they want to go.
Where can people find you on the interwebs if they would like to follow you?
Oh yeah. If you want to connect, my storytelling workshop website is yourstoryiseverything.com.
Where
These Sphinx Gates that we're bringing, these are of course our inspiration ones, but if you go to thesphinxgate.com, You can follow along. We have a newsletter there, and we're bringing smaller Sphinx experiences that are kind of like a storytelling, helping people unpack their stories, and a bit of an emotional washing machine, help you move those things. And we're bringing that out to the world. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Thank you so much, Mareesa. It's good to see you, and we'll chat more soon.
such a treat to be here. Thanks, Eliza. Excited for Soleil.
So come on.